right, welcome everyone. We are Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Haikyuu, Season 4, Episode 16. All right, the Inarizaki match is going really well for Karasuno thus far. We caught back up. There's been a lot going on with our boys. The first years are really coming in clutch right now.
They are.
Tadashi is on a roll. Well, with 1 point thus far.
He might be on a roll. Like,
If he could take this set for the team.
Right. He brought them into the lead, with that first point.
Yep.
If he gets this next point,
it's going to be set point.
Then we're on set point. Like who knows? Wouldn't that be awesome if Yamaguchi just won them the set here? Like, wouldn't that be incredible?
Yeah.
Like that.
I could totally see it happening. Yamaguchi has been the character that has been the true underdog through and through Haikyuu thus far. But seeing his senpai come in there for him and showing him
the bag
art and be like, yes, remember what you focused on back then? Oh, it's so wholesome and perfect. Great. I just love it. But we have been corrected on a couple things.
Right.
This is a 3-set match.
Right.
So 5-set stuff is restricted for like final matches and stuff.
So it is even more important that they win the set here if they can, because
that's a lot of tempo advantage, and at the very least, even if they would lose set 2, they can still come back in set 3.
Exactly.
Yeah. Big thing though is then that means that they have to put it all into this match. This is less of an endurance match and more of a like punch through hard here. And yet Inarizaki seems to have not even fully utilized all of their weapons yet, and is keeping toe-to-toe with Karasuno. And that's where we need all the little advantages we can get, like Yamaguchi here coming in, pinch serving for Hinata.
So no pressure.
No pressure, buddy. You've got this.
But if you did do really well, that would be awesome.
Oh my god. Even if he just gets one more and the next one doesn't work out, that's huge.
Right, because Inarizaki's at 22, so in order to just make it so that it wouldn't be match point, they would have to get all the way up to 24, right? Yeah. So that's 2 more points they would have to get.
I could see this going for a long set, though. But there is such a psychological effect of knowing that if you miss 1 point, the set's over. Like, that's huge. We've got our cheer squad. We've got everyone watching and commentating. We've got awesome players from other teams watching and observing. And let's just, it's good. But y'all, we're ready. Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone. Now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below. Then come back here for the discussion. Guys, that's just what Haikyuu is about, y'all.
Yep.
That's what Haikyuu is about.
God.
Focusing on a character, getting in depth with the emotions of the struggles that they're going through, and then bringing it into the match, having them, in some ways, get an opportunity to succeed but fail, or at the very least struggle, but then overcome it. And just the dramatic moment where everything crescendos. And it's classic. We love it. And Tanaka is probably one of the least expected people to get this kind of focus, because unfortunately, Tanaka is one of the more less dramatic characters in terms of his athletic ability. It's really just been his spirit and his energy that he brings. And, that really is like an AoE buff of sorts to all of his teammates.
Yeah, up till now, Tanaka's very much been sort of a caricature more than a character, right? And that's one of the reasons, and not to say that as a bad thing. I absolutely love Tanaka, have loved Tanaka, this entire time, right? But we haven't gotten a lot of that focus and sort of depth for him and whatnot that we've gotten for a lot of the other characters. So
until really recently.
Right? So when Kanoka was introduced to the story, I was like, great, this is a fantastic way to help poke at things beyond just the really energetic exterior that Tanaka has. See where the roots of that go and things like that. Bring more to the surface. Awesome. Love it. The fact that we got this kind of focus and growth from him totally makes sense, because his abilities are the most average probably of the people on Karasuno.
On the starting.
Of the starting people.
Just remember that, though. There are a bunch of people on the bench.
Exactly, right. And while Tanaka, you may see yourself as being normal amongst all these, abnormal people.
Right.
well, you're still here.
Oh my God, you're still here,
and you
buddy.
know, one of those 3 that you were saying, oh wow, they're so strong, they're not starting, and you are.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't sell yourself short. But like this, this feels very similar to like Asahi's conflict in season 1, except this is from the character that you never would have expected it. Because for Asahi, I get it. Like he's the long suffering, you know, like you know, he's a big guy, but you know, he's a softie.
He's a total teddy bear.
He's a total teddy bear, right?
Absolutely.
But seeing this for someone like Tanaka, God,
it hits so well because Tanaka, over the course of Haikyuu's just run so far, has been the character that is very easily excited.
Yeah,
we see when, you know, Hinata calls him Tanaka senpai in season 1. He just, he drinks it up and stuff. But in this backstory, we start to see that, you know, even as a kid, he had that energy. But when he got pushed up against a wall or put onto a team that he saw as being a powerhouse, but in reality they weren't, and they're being mocked at and stuff, he's like, well, I'll just go and give him a little whammo or two when no one's looking. Yeah. We can see that there's that desire to fight back and to rage against the machine. He's like, no, I will not go down without a fight. Giving up is just so lame. That's just not even manly. So what happens when he's pushed past that and he really, really considers giving up? It is something that actually comes into mind here. Well, let's tackle it from 2 different angles. One, the girl that shows up and is a childhood friend and gave her he gave her good reasons to like him. Like,
oh yeah,
he very much was awesome. Back then. Now that was a long time ago, so he might not think much of it. But then his friends are like, "You have a chance. You have a chance." But in his mind, he goes, "No, I can't give up."
Right.
On Kyoko.
Right.
Like that's not in my nature. That's not who I am. Exactly. But maybe, man, that's not a giving up thing. Maybe that's just you just realizing your worth.
Right.
Realizing that you are special. You are actually someone worthy of being on that court amidst the aliens that are out there.
Because how many times when Karasuno was playing, did someone get down or something like that or other, and Tanaka keeps everyone focused, right? He keeps them energized. He makes it so that they don't get discouraged. Now, that's something that, you know, Daichi certainly does, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a similar way, but
that's Daichi's job.
Right.
He's the team captain. Tanaka, you're just one of the other players, right? And the fact that you bring so much to the table, like, you might not value it because it's something that comes easily to you, right? You know, you just, you know, most of the time, right? Yeah. But that doesn't mean that other people don't value it.
Yep.
And, you know,
so true. Kanaka,
yes. Yeah. Kanaka, she's one example of someone who really, really values it.
And she didn't forget it for like a decade or like 7 or 8 years.
Yep, very long time.
A very long time. So the stuff that Tanaka brings to the table is in a spectrum of chaos, if you will. Yes. In that respect, that's why Nishinoy and him are such buddies, because Nishinoy is just rolling around in that chaos, screaming his own head off. But Tanaka basically brings the chaotic energy of, yeah, let's go. And it's, I live for that. It's why I'd say it was cool to have Bokuto being the one commentating on this bit here, because Bokuto is in some ways an even more emotionally swayed version of that. You know, so less will, less resolve.
Right, because he has a lot more of the talent and the skill and everything. He is a monster of his own on the court. Yeah. So it's... Yeah, the roots don't need to go as deep.
Right. He maybe has a little bit less tolerance for mistakes on his line there.
As we have seen.
But I love that on the other side of things, Tanaka will stop that energy and speak directly to the person he's engaging with and say something that is profound in terms of like its simplicity. Like it's not really going to be like a really complicated thought.
Sure.
But it's profound also in its value to the two people, himself and to the person he's talking to.
Right.
Tanaka is the kind of person who I feel like is constantly psyching himself up, and everyone else feels like he's doing this for everyone else.
Oh, sure.
He's the kind of person where it's like, yeah, I'm obviously like doing this for me, but he's like, I just do this because it's awesome. It's a cool way to live.
Yep.
But there are times, man, where, yeah, it's hard. It is not easy. Being this, excited to simp for Kyoko, that takes stamina, my dude. I mean, he does have Nishinoya to kind of partner him up with it, make their gimmick, their thing.
Two horses go 5 times as far, kind of a thing.
Exactly. But when it's, you are getting targeted.
Yep.
And he's used to that. Like, he has at least probably his past year to go on of times where he was also targeted.
Sure.
For being like he's good enough to be on the court, with the starting crew, but
he's the weakest.
But he's probably the weakest link. Yeah.
Right. It's like the fact that Tsukishima didn't give him the ball.
Oh my God.
That hurt. Right. That hurt. Because just like with Asahi's situation, it was the no. Send it to me. I got this, right? Yeah. And he didn't send it to him. That hurt. But I think what hurt the most, even if, order-wise, he might not have been as vulnerable at that point, is when Nishinoya took the receive.
Yeah, that.
Because Nishinoya absolutely did not mean anything by it, right?
No.
Tsukishima didn't either, right? And it's not like he was, no, he did say, come on, so he was prepared for it. Yeah. But it's just the idea that in Nishinoya's head, it was just a
reflex.
A reflex, right. It went deep enough that he probably didn't have to think about it. He didn't mention it afterwards of like, oh, sorry, you probably had that, no, he did it.
Yeah, if anything, he was excited because he made a good receive on that.
Yep.
Which, that was a good receive. But it's also that subtle thing of, you don't even think about the idea of taking away one of my receives.
Right. And in a lot of ways, that's Nishinoya's job, right? He's on the court.
He is the ultimate backline.
He is the ultimate backline. So if there is a receive he can, receive, then
he probably should receive
it. He probably should be the one to receive it, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that it happens in this moment, right? And even if maybe that's sort of the right call for Nishinoya, there's this part of Tanaka that's like, well, would you have done it if it was Daichi?
Nope.
Would you have done it if it was, Asahi?
Probably not.
Or Asahi would be on the front.
Well, Asahi sometimes might end up on the back because of the
rotations and stuff.
But it's
that doubt, right?
It is one of those things I would say that is sports etiquette wise, it is generally considered not a cool thing. Like, regardless of whether or not this is the case specifically with this instance of whether it was bad etiquette or not.
Yeah, because they're at nationals and everything.
Yeah, I don't know that context, but generally speaking, the instance of this would be if in Ultimate Frisbee, someone makes a very intentional swing pass to basically the side, which is basically the equivalent of I am going to get this to someone else so they can reset the count. If I basically came in between the line of the throws and took it, even if it was my job to be in the back line, I should at the very least give it then immediately then to the next person so that it's something of where the intended call of my teammate who was making the throw goes through. Otherwise, that's just really greedy play, basically. In this case here, it was a really tough situation. We're hovering around really scary levels with regards to points and stuff. So
they need to win this set, so it makes sense, and all of that. But it doesn't necessarily help Tanaka's self-confidence. But that's what makes Tanaka special. He doesn't need to have a red carpet, laid out for him for his confidence because damn it, he will make that red carpet. He will see that red carpet, even if it's just something as simple as calling him senpai.
Yeah. I gotta say, one of the things that they focused on this episode is the idea of people being your hero, people that you look up to, even though they're basically the same age as you.
Right.
And they did this in multiple levels. So, Hinata cheering on Tanaka at that moment there. Even though Hinata kind of said in combination, I don't even think this is what he was meaning, but basically saying, it is really cool to see you make the block, being supported by someone else. It was kind of like saying, it took the two of you, but you made it happen. That was awesome. And it's kind of like saying you weren't able to do it on your own, but I don't think that's what he was meaning at all.
Yeah, I think it was more of the thing of you came in and helped out.
You came in and made it happen. Exactly. Right. The other part basically is that when he looks at the senpai in his flashback, he's basically like, yeah, yeah, okay, we can do this, but I mean, I want to go kind of. And they're like, oh man, we get that kind of stuff all the time, dude. And they like say it in unison.
Right.
It's basically the equivalent of when we've been in customer service positions and we kind of echo those dumb things the customers say, and we're just like, ha ha ha. Yeah, we've gone through some shit, my boy. Like, we've seen some things. Yeah. But when they then get that far off like stare in their eyes of like, we can see though the future.
Right.
We're hungry for that.
Yep.
Tanaka's like, oh my god, like, you guys are amazing. How are you guys so cool?
Because in there he can see that it hurts them and that they're not taking it lying down.
Right.
That it's we're doing something about this, even though we're only second years.
Right.
You know?
And that fire was probably what kept him in that year of basically Karasuno's, one of their struggling years, because he could look up to them.
Right.
And then in the same episode, they also used brilliantly the other second years, the ones that didn't show up. To basically be like, they're not really being like as overt with it, but they're kind of saying in a lot of ways, Tanaka, you're kind of our hero in a lot of ways. We know who you are. You're kind of amazing, dude.
I love that it wasn't Tanaka being like, no, I didn't give up. I kept practicing, even when everyone else left. No. Because he doesn't even think about it. He doesn't realize the super normal, things that he's doing, right? When all the other normal people, even some not normal people like Nishinoya, stop. No. Yeah. You, Tanaka, you normal guy, you do the abnormal.
Yeah. It's just wonderful.
And while it might not achieve the results you desire from everybody, Tsukishima still thinks you're just weird and you're not going to marry Kyoko.
No, that's not happening.
Not good odds there, my man.
0 odds there.
Yeah. But that's still something that's impressive. That's still something that you should value.
That's really good. Also, there were some really cool highlight plays this episode that weren't necessarily focused on Tanaka specifically, but they were just really cool. Tanaka going after that ball. It was way up against the wall there and smacking his head against it there. That was awesome. Kageyama going under the net to set back to
for a point?
Asahi for a point. That was crazy. What? So Asahi, Kageyama, Nishinoya, Hinata, everyone is on their game, and this was his episode of realizing, wait, everyone's on fire right now. Why isn't my fire making me realize some really cool moments here? I gotta go over the top. And then they start focusing him, and it gets to him. Yeah. And he gets depressed. And he gets so far in his own head that he starts realizing this image of him struggling up an endless flight of stairs, looking like freaking Griffith trying to find his castle that's never gonna come,
Yep.
I mean, we're not going to get into Berserk stuff here, but literally that felt like a Berserk moment there where it was just like struggler going up the stairs.
And the whole
endless
point,
mountain.
And the whole point, Tanaka, your big benefit is that, you've been on that the whole time. But you run up those stairs.
You do.
You run up those stairs.
You leap up 2 steps at a time every time.
And even if you don't catch up to the people that are up above you, right? There are a bunch of people around you and below you that are like, how in the hell is he doing it?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense. And so...
And to where it's become a reputation part of you. And then when they did the animation with the Sakuga and everything for this moment.
And the line art. And
it really felt like the perfect synchronization of like a Tsukishima moment and an Asahi moment. Remember the Suga!
Yeah.
Like that was just such a powerful moment. But then also the moment of like Tsukishima being like Yosha! This was that, but for Tanaka. And then his buddies, his second years, looking at them being like, oh, this is his moment. He's gonna do it. And then he pulls off the cross. That was one hell of a cross. And on Rintaro, Rintaro has been kind of terrifying this match. Yeah, he starts moving a lot quicker now. Like he's able to deduce who's getting the set. Yep. Like really quickly. It's kind of insane. Yeah. And like the way his hand had was just line art all over it. Oh yeah. Coming up to block and no, you got past him. Oh. There was a part of me that almost expected. And I'm glad that they didn't do this, because that would have probably gone to Tanaka's head. But if Kyoko went up and was like, good job.
or that was a cool point.
Well, and then instead what we got from her was no, Tanaka usually comes through in the end.
Yep.
Which is
exactly.
That's just so sweet because she's not interested in him in any stretch of it. But what she's basically saying is, I've seen him the last 2 years.
Right.
I know what he's about, and he's steady Eddie. He may be chaotic energy, but.
Just as
oh my God, I know
guaranteed is the fact that he's going to try and hit on me and everything, he always pulls through, you know?
It's so good. Also, I loved his little moment with Tsukishima afterwards.
Yes.
Because I could feel the emotion from Tsukishima as he's like, it's not that easy to just kind of muscle your way through, getting down on yourself. That's so true. So in this moment, Tsukishima's also kind of looking up to Tanaka and being like, you buck.
Right, I don't like you.
How do you just stop being depressed for, after just a few seconds? That doesn't make sense at all.
And he didn't even notice that he was depressed.
No, not at all.
Think about that, Tanaka. It's all in your head, Mr. Tweedy. Say it. And Tsukishima's the observant one. He's the one who sees the critical points in everybody,
That's
right?
why he didn't set to Tanaka.
Exactly, right. Because, he, figured it'd be better odds if he sent it to Asahi, right?
Asahi's the ace.
Exactly, Asahi's the ace. But not once did he think that you were depressed.
No.
Right?
No.
So,
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Also, I love the way he goes into this thing of which is better, Super Depressed Me or Super Hype Squad Me? And then Tsukishima's like, well, neither actually.
Yeah. Both are weird, yeah.
Right. And he's like, obviously, it's Super Hype Squad. And then this is just the confidence that he basically carries in this moment here. And yet Tsukishima isn't fully annoyed by this kind of resolute, kind of, standoffish, kind of, I can just do this kind of energy.
Right.
He basically just kind of goes, bro, I'm telling you, it's not that easy. But the idea of, look at that face. Look at Tsukishima's face. He's like, is it really,
He's like, damn.
He almost wants to believe him here.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's his practicality and his logic that's basically saying, no, it doesn't work like that. And Tanaka's like, but it does.
But it does.
And he's like, but it doesn't. But it does.
Yeah, Tanaka's simple, straightforward kind of approach to things basically says, yes, it's going to be hard at times, but it doesn't have to be all the time.
Right.
There are times where you can literally dig into yourself, dig into the energy of those around you, and just pull one through.
Yep.
And I just want to see the afterglow of Tanaka coming into set 2, spilling over into the team in a really cool way.
Well, what I want to see now is okay, so Kanaka said, yes, heartbreak.
Yeah.
Right?
It's okay to be proud. He made me genuinely think I'm special.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, again, Tanaka has no idea, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not sure whether this is the closure and resolution, it's resolved within herself, even though she realizes that Tanaka sort of won't notice her, kind of a thing. Or if this is just that happening, so that then Tanaka, because people were like, hey, you have a chance with her, because then maybe he'll go up to her after the match or something and be like, hey,
do I have a chance?
right, exactly. Yeah, in whatever way he does it, but so
Back
because
placento,
oh
my gosh.
Yeah.
I think if anything, like Karasuno's gonna win. I totally think Karasuno's gonna win.
They won the first set, so yeah.
I don't think they'll necessarily win the second set. That would be cool.
That would be awesome. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
I think they need to spend more time developing the Mia twins, and a second set going in their favor would, I would say, lean in that direction to showcase how they can basically pull something together for their team, so we get to know them a little bit more as characters. But something after the game, yes, with Tanaka going up to Kanako and being like, so
that was
thank you for
cool,
watching
right?
thank you for watching the game. And she's gonna be like, Tanaka, you were really awesome. And he's like, really? I think it's gonna be like, yeah. And I really, just awkward thing, and then you just have the friend just push her in and then just walk away. Just
right. Or even Nishinoya just come up and
push him in.
Push him. Like,
or Inoshita and the boys.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see stammering, blundering, like, you know, blushing Tanaka. Yeah, I need that in my life right now.
That better come this season. Yep. I don't want to wait 2 years or something for season 5 in order to get that.
And can you imagine if he does go up to her and he's like, "Hey, do I have a shot?" Right? And she's like, "Yep, 100%, right?"
She's like, "I'll set for you."
Oh. But can you imagine the kind of energy that Tanaka would be going into the following match with?
Dude, like, knowing that a girl who likes him is watching him,
right?
He would be unstoppable.
The court would start burning away from his feet, like
Nishinoya would be like, "Teach me, senpai." right. Like Nishinoya would come up to him and be like, "How?" And then he'll also like give him like maybe a moment of like knighting him. He's like, "I hereby dub you as one who will no longer be the knight of Shimizu Senpai, but that is okay because you are now the knight for Kanoko. Yes."
Right.
And Nishinoya would be like, and Tanaka would be like, "I humbly accept this pledge." And he'd be like, "Now go get him, Tanaka." And
right.
Like, ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe that's going a bit far.
Yeah, going a bit far, but we can dream, can't we?
Exactly.
We can dream.
Yeah.
But okay, set one down. Set one down. We have our boys in high spirits.
Yep.
We have an unconscious Bokuto on the sidelines.
Bokuto's commentary throughout this was amazing because he's just like, "Nope, I would be dead right now. I'd be just spiking it into the net and like out of the court." Like, nope.
He's self-aware. he understands this.
Right.
What is this? Character development.
Oh my god.
Y'all, I can't wait to watch the next one. This was fantastic. So thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. Tanaka the Mad Lad in the comments.
We love you. We absolutely
give
love
all
you.
the love to Tanaka in the comments.
Yep.
But hope to see you in the next one. That'll be next week once the episode's out, of course. But if you want to see a full-length timer version of the reaction where you sync up your own footage to it, check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord as well, where you can chat with us and the community there about this show and the episodes as it comes out, of course, about anime in general. And you can also talk with Jacob there about his sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. Wrote a sci-fi novel. Yeah, Battle Lines, you know about it, but you need to check it out. It's pretty cool, and it's on Amazon. The link's in the description down below.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.